everyone. And we are in page 84 of the book Map Your Freedom. This is session 8. Okay, I start where we stopped last time. The key part of the natural approach is to start the conversation exactly as you were doing before joining network marketing. Hello, how are you? How are you doing? How is your family? How is your job? How is your life? How is your health? Let me give you my example of natural approach. Here I am, the networker talking to a friend. I start my conversation in the usual fashion. How are you, friend? The answer is great. But on further probing, the opening answer from great becomes life is going on. And ultimately, the true answer comes life sucks. Once my friend opens up, I go further by asking, why does life suck? I let my friends talk as much as they want. And my task is to listen to them intently and jot down mental notes of all their troubles. From their answer, I ask another probing question, and finally they open up completely. Let's say their problem was less pay and long hours at a job, and receiving an extra $1,000 can solve some of their problems. At this point, I need to ask whether they have any solution to their problem. Of course, they don't have the solution, and that is why they are stuck in that situation. But it's very important to know and let them concur that I don't know what to do. Here comes the most important part of the natural approach. Ask another question. Do you want to get out of the problem? How can you help me get out of the problem? Me. It's at this point that I provide the solution, and at the same time, I qualify him. I'm involved in a program where I help and coach people to earn additional income along with their jobs. In about a year's time, they start earning over $1,000. If you are interested, I can help you. Friend, what do I have to do? Can you explain more about your program? Are you serious? I can start earning $1,000? Me. I will answer these questions with two more qualifying questions. Before I explain to you about my program and what you have to do, please answer my two questions. Can you put in 15 hours per week so that you may earn an extra $1,000? Are you ready to change the brand of daily beverages and personal care items to that of our company by spending $100? After asking these two questions, it's important that I closely see their body language while listening to their answers. Friend, no. Me. If they say no to both of or one of the questions, I politely reject them. In order to be part of my program and earn $1,000, you need to give 15 hours per week and spend $100 per month. And right now, I feel you are not ready. If and when you are ready, please call me and I will be happy to help you. I will end my conversation by giving him my business card. Here is my business card, and in the future, if you feel you are ready to work for that extra income, please don't hesitate to call me. Friend. Okay, fine. Me. Can I have your email address and phone number so that we can stay connected? It was nice talking to you. Thank you. I put them in the drip system explained later. If he says yes to both the questions, I qualify them and tell them that it's going to take an hour to explain the entire program. Plus, this is not a suitable place and time for detailed discussion. After that, I will take an appointment, date, time, place of their conversation. For the natural presentation, explained in the next chapter. The above question and answer chat is a typical natural approach system. In the natural approach, you need to learn the skill to start the conversation, and Tom, big AI, Schreiter, is a master of icebreaker. Words that can skillfully move the conversation from social talk, hi, how are you, how is the weather, to talking about your business. Following are Tom's icebreakers magic. 4 and 5 word sequences that automatically freeze the brain and bypass the subconscious programming. When you freeze the prospect's brain, you now have your prospect's attention. And when you have your prospect's attention, then you can explain the benefits about the product and or opportunity. And your prospect will actually listen attentively, and you can expect the desired action from your prospect. Big allies icebreaker sequences. Magic sequence number 1. What you will say is, I just found out, add benefits, and replace add benefits in the bracket with one of the benefits listed below to the statement. Here is an example. I just found out how we can get an extra paycheck every week. Here is another example. I just found out how to fire my boss. Here is the list of benefits you can use for sequence number 1. Start with, I just found out how to retire 10 years earlier with full pay. How you can never show up for work again. How you can work 3 weeks and get paid for 4. How you can take a 1-week holiday every month. How you can take a 6-month holiday twice a year. How you can take a 5-day weekend instead of 2. How to stop working weekends. How to never have to work nights again. How to pick our own hours to work. How you can get a $200 tax refund every month. How you don't have to work 45 years like your parents. How you can earn more money part-time than your partner does working full-time. How you can stay home and get a full-time paycheck. How you can earn more money working part-time than your boss can working full-time. How you can lose weight quickly without worrying about dieting. How your skin can look 10 years younger while you sleep. How to protect your skin from the harsh desert sun. How to pay off all your debts in record time. How you can live debt-free. How to live longer and retire richer. How you can feel younger in just 7 days. How to wake up every morning feeling like $1 million. How to have more energy than our grandchildren. How to have 5-day weekends. How an instant raise solves most of your problems. Think of all the things you could do in life if you didn't have to waste 2 hours a day commuting. Stop paying somebody else to watch your kids grow up. How to get a $500 per month raise without having to ask your boss. We will never get rich by working a job. Magic sequence number 2. Here is how this sequence works. After you have used magic sequence number 1, you will get some response. You will have identified the problem and begin your next statement with these 4 words. Well, You know how, as identified in the natural approach? Here is an example. Well, you know how I overcame my weight problem? Here is another example. Well, you know how I make spare money working part-time? You will have identified the problem and begin your next statement by providing the solution beginning with these 4 words. Well, what I do is, here is an example. Well, what I do is, I show people how to earn a full-time income by only working part-time. Here is another example. Well, what I do is help people lose weight. Here is the list of solutions you can use for this sequence. Start with, well, what I do is get an extra paycheck every month. Teach stay-at-home moms how to be with their children and still get paid. Get back home and still get paid same or more. Get a higher paycheck working from home compared to that of their husbands. Drive a BMW car by paying $100 per month installment. Make your skin look 20 years younger in 20 seconds each day. Following are few examples of telling them indirectly their problem and giving a solution. Well, you know how mothers are torn apart between their job, daycare centers, and children? Well, what I do is show mothers how they can be with their children and still get paid from their home. What is the best time to approach your prospects? Preferably between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., not after 10 p.m. Time that your prospects give, according to pre-appointment time. If you are calling in the afternoon or over weekend, make sure it's not their siesta time or rest time. Most important, when you are calling, ask permission whether they are free to talk or if it's the best time to talk. Network marketing business is global and there are 24 time zones. If you have prospects outside your country of residence, check the time through Time Converter and call them in the evening. In order to take an appointment and not to disturb your prospects, text them and ask for a convenient time. What should networkers learn and do before approaching prospects? First, your product and business knowledge should be thorough. Second, your belief in the product and business should be strong. Show that confidence is in your talk. 3, take an appointment and call before you go. 4, should have good communication skills. 5, be well dressed. 6, be punctual. 7, reach out with a helping hand. Be there for the prospect. 8, learn people skills. Look at their body language for the hunger sign. 9, be natural and master the natural approach system. What should you keep in mind while using natural approach towards your prospects? First, ask valid questions. Second, be truly and straight. 3, respect the other person's time. 4, listen to their problems and provide solutions. 5, get connected and not give a presentation. 6, don't try to convince them. What blunders do the networkers do with prospects? First, when networkers get in touch with prospects, they immediately start talking about the product and the business. They talk too quickly and too much, forcing prospects to shut their minds. Second, once prospects show interest, then the networker starts constantly running after them to the extent of nudging them. 3. Some networkers bombard the prospect with constant calls and texts, invading their private space, which forces the prospect to add them in the reject list or ignore calls, or in the worst case scenario, switching off their phone. Number 4. Nowadays, some networkers send dozens of messages through social media sites like Facebook, LinkedIn, and even emails, ultimately resulting in prospect blocking, delisting, or considering them as spam. Constant persistering only results in bad reputation of the networker and the networking market industry. If networkers understand the process of recruiting, then the above blunders can be avoided. I would like to narrate a real life story as to how I explain the process of how to recruit someone correctly. I was talking to a chartered accountant in London, UK, who was searching for a better job. During this time, he joined the network marketing industry, and the first question he asked me is how to quickly recruit the right people in his business. I gave him a few guidelines and told him to learn the skill of recruiting. While this man was still learning, he found the job he was searching for. I asked him to tell me the entire process as to how he got the job. He told me that he contacted a few recruiting agencies and sent them his resume. After a few months, the company started calling him. A few email exchanges, phone interviews, and he was rejected. There was rejection after rejection. After long wait and being rejected by many companies, finally one company became seriously interested in him. After the initial recruiting procedure, he was called for a face-to-face interview. He took a leave from his current job and traveled for 2 hours to a small town located on the south coast of Great Britain. To cut the story short, he got the job he was looking for. I congratulated him and I told him that his selection by his new company is similar to the selection of the right people in network marketing. It takes time, effort, and the right recruiting procedure to get one right person. This young man got the answer to his question: how to quickly recruit the right people into his network marketing business. Why natural approach is important. In real estate, the money is in finding the right location. In network marketing, the money is in qualifying. And if you master the skills of qualifying the prospects through the natural approach, your network marketing business is bound to grow. Open quote, business opportunities are like buses. There is always another one coming. Close quote, Richard Branson. Change your strategy from you chasing the prospect to the prospect chasing you. Prospects can only chase you if you learn attraction marketing. Attraction marketing is where prospects come to you on their own because of what you said or what you have put in ads, flyers, radio advertisement, and on social media sites. You make yourself visible to the world as a solution provider. And those who need you will contact you in the hope that your product or service will help them with the problems they are experiencing. You create curiosity and show how your program or product service can solve their problems. The prospect sees a simple and attractive solution to their age-old problems. Today, attraction marketing plays a key and critical role, especially on the internet. If somebody responds to your ad, you send them a reply in the following way. Hi, thank you for showing interest in my program. What attracted you to contact me? I will be happy to answer your questions you may have. Kindly see my video link and we will follow from there. Looking forward to hearing from you. With warm regards. Conclusion: network marketing business, it's all about people, and the natural approach gives you the skills to get the right people. It's only patience and persistence that will help you find the right people for your business. The parable to finding the real people who will become leaders is like digging the ground to find the waterbed. When you start digging the ground, you don't initially find any water. So you have to keep digging and digging, maybe another 100 feet or even 1,000 feet deeper to reach the water bed.